Let's take a look at the 9 online businesses below $500,000 for sale that Empire Flippers sent out in their email yesterday, December 4th, 2025. I'm going to take a look through these and share my own quick take and experience-based insight into whether or not I think each of these businesses would be a good potential acquisition for someone looking to acquire an online business. Now, two things I have to say before I jump into it here. Number one, I have not taken a look at this, so I don't know what is coming up. And number two, regarding the $500,000 listing price or lower for each of these businesses, that means that each one of these businesses is likely making $100,000 to $200,000 a year in profitability. Now, as an acquirer, just kind of a side note, when it comes to offline businesses, I tend to look for businesses that are much larger and much more profitable. But when it comes to online businesses, I find myself kind of tilting towards the smaller side of things. And I think that's important to consider. The reason why I think that is the case is because online businesses don't require as much capital expenditure, they don't require as much human resource infrastructure, and they can be, or not can be, but they are much more scalable. So you don't need the stability of buying a large business like you do when it comes to buying an offline business. Let me restate that. Otherwise, one of the reasons why I look for larger offline businesses because they come with much more infrastructure, much more meat and potatoes that you need for the business to operate stably. Online businesses can be, but are not always, much more stable at a smaller size and provide a good foundation that you can rapidly scale up from. So yeah, just some quick takes there. Let's jump into it and see what we've got. See if there are any good opportunities for acquisition targets here. First one making $8,900 a month. Amazon FBA e-commerce launched as a drop shipping venture and later transitioned into a branded product. And I'm going to quickly toggle my little highlight tool. There it is, or underlining tool. The online store specializes in the fitness niche, selling primarily through its dedicated website. The company began by drop shipping a flagship product. We don't really know what it is. The products are now shipped directly to a 3PL warehouse in Texas. I really don't like that this one is a Amazon FBA business. I'm not too wild about it, but it does say e-commerce as well. Still, the fact that they put Amazon FBA up front indicates to me that it is substantially an Amazon FBA business, and I really don't like the platform dependency or risk. And actually, I just realized with my little annotation tool here, I cannot scroll through the email, so I guess I'm going to go without it. Next up, making $15,308 and listed at a 20x valuation multiple. YouTube channel started in early 2021. It took a unique approach to content production. 19,000 videos via freelancers and uploaded them over the next few years. The videos were targeted towards search-based informational content. Well, you know, a YouTube channel is completely platform dependent. The valuation is low though, and the videos were produced via freelancers. So there is something to like here, but still I'd rather not jump into a business that is entirely platform dependent. Then we've got another Amazon FBA making $7,600 per month, listed at a 10x multiple, founded in 2024. It's in the health niche. This just seems really too small and too flimsy considering it's all Amazon FBA, and it's at a low valuation multiple. So that is telling me something, that there's a lack of quality here. Next up, a software engineering related website started in 2016 to help educate developers. The site has a lot of free content and paid courses, also earns from display ads. The site comes with a strong presence on YouTube and an email list. This one, I actually did a video on this listing independently when I first ran across it just a couple days ago. There is a lot to like here because it's 10 years old. It's got digital products. It's got an email list. So it's not just an SEO content display ads website, right? They've sort of built the digital products and they've pulled in their own brand here with their own email list. I think there's a lot to like here, particularly at this 20x valuation. Let's keep going, seeing if there's anything else. Making $1,837 a month, a lifestyle blog launched in 2013. Just a pure blog is really not on the uptrend. Let's just say that at this point. Blogs are continuously getting whacked by the search algorithms. They're dependent on it. I don't really see much here. This one is very, very small. Next up, making $3,942 per month, a merch business that comes with an additional KDP business attached. Started in 2019 and is niched down to mostly gifts/occasion. Okay, so I think a merch business is like Amazon's print on demand, right? So this is also platform dependent. And it seems like they've also got a digital product in there. They're asking a 38x valuation multiple. Can't say I'm too crazy about Amazon dependent at a 38x valuation multiple. Next one, making $4,000 a month, actually $3,999 as we can all see, I'm rounding. Launched in August 2023, operates within the real estate sector in Canada, offering a unique platform for brokers and developers to share important updates like new listings, open houses, price reductions with thousands of other residential and commercial realtors. That's kind of interesting. Listed at a 32x multiple. Doesn't say if it's SaaS, it just calls it a platform. Okay, I don't know if that's like a marketplace or what. I'm thinking it's like an app that pushes notifications to realtors. I don't really know what that is, but it's interesting. Launched in 2021, this platform connects users with vetted private trainers and experts for personalized sports and performance coaching, tailoring to each user's locations and goals, making $3,147 a month. And can be yours for the price of $122,000. Has a network of 1,000 trainers and more than 12,500 paying customers, consistently acquiring over 200 new customers per month through organic Google traffic and email marketing. There's something here, but why is it not bigger? That's the question that I'm asking, right? They've got 1,000 trainers and 12,500 paying customers, but they're only doing $122,000 in revenue, right? Like, why is the number just not 10x, 100x this? Not really sure. And finally, we've got a bundle of 3 newsletters making $6,582 per month, driving traffic to 2 websites, all in a similar political/news or information niche. The newsletters grab attention via well-designed polls and news, which have high click-through rates. Revenue is mostly generated by display ads. Okay, so this is a newsletter and display advertising business. Considering it's in the political news and information niche, I'm thinking that this is like rage bait style content. We also don't know when it was established. So if I had to pick the ones I like out of this email here, there's 3 that I really like, and that is this one right here, the software engineering related website with paid courses, display ads, and email lists. But I'm not going to cover this one because I already did a video on it, so look on my channel for the video related to this. I will, if I can remember, put it in the description or comments somewhere around this video. Let's look at the other 2. The real estate platform in Canada, and then the private vetted trainers. Between the 2 of them here, I would say that I like the real estate platform a little bit more, and that's just because it hasn't been around as long. Usually I like more aged businesses, but it hasn't been around as long and it's slightly larger. This one seems like it should be bigger considering all the details, and maybe I'm reading into that wrong, and if I didn't have to, go between one or the other like I have to do right now for what we're going to jump into, I would probably look at both of them. But let's take a deeper look at this business here. And real quick, before I do that, if you feel like there's anything I overlooked or missed out on while I was skimming through these business listings, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you're finding this video helpful or insightful so far, click on the like button to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. Now let's jump into this one here and see what we can tell about it, or if there's anything else we can tell about it. It's got a 91% profit margin, so very high. The profitability has been stable to growing for the last couple of years, so I like that. Now let's see the details here, and I'm going to go through here, skim, pick out some of the key details, and then maybe come back and talk about them. All right. So, we know all this stuff. A few key positives include the strong organic growth with the no money spent on marketing, a 37.11% return customer rate, and 44% return customer rate since July 2024. The large email list of 43,000. The business was started by realtors and grew organically because agents are always looking for new ways to market their listings, generate more leads, and grow their business. The business operates in the Canadian real estate sector, and it has an email list of more than 43,000 realtors in Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary, and Montreal. The email list is segmented by location, allowing precise targeting. The business makes use of its own platform to advertise and sell its service to other realtors, brokers, developers, eliminating the need for a large marketing budget. The operations are streamlined, requiring less than 15 hours work per week. I can't read now. When a realtor places an order for an email list blast, and I just kind of filled that in. It didn't even say the word list. Email blast. The seller customizes an email template using Zoho campaigns. Hundreds can be pre-made. A process that takes about 30 minutes per blast and generates $149 in revenue. The business benefits from minimal expenses, leading to an impressive margin. Additionally, the company has developed a custom Python script to ensure compliance with Canada's anti-spam laws, adding a layer of security and professionalism. There's a significant opportunity for expansion both geographically and in terms of services. Recently, the business launched a subscription option, bringing revenue with no sales or marketing. The vast majority of revenue currently comes from Vancouver, but with the recent Ontario expansion, potential new products and provinces, there is considerable room for growth. There are approximately 160,000 realtors in Canada, and almost all revenue thus far has come from Vancouver email list, which is approximately 10,000 agents, 747 customers, 13 plus 5-star reviews, only 13, 1,265 orders. The business has established itself as a trusted industry leader. Okay. The seller has not utilized social media for business promotion. The business grew organically. And the seller has a real estate business and will continue to work in the sector after the sale, but agrees not to start another real estate email blast service in Canada to comply with the non-compete. Okay. All right. So this seems like it's an email blast business, right? It seems like it's highly email driven, almost like a newsletter. I don't know if platform is the right way of describing it, or if they're trying to disguise the fact initially that it was a email blast business. But my take is that it is an email blast business. They send out email blasts with new listings, open houses, price reductions, and all of that kind of stuff. I like it. I like the profitability of it. It seems simple. I like that it is growing organically and that they've done no marketing. What don't I like about it? Well, the seller is in the real estate space, and I'm not necessarily worried about this non-compete, but what if the seller's persona has been tied to the growth of this business organically? That would be something I would really want to smoke out as soon as I got the information. How have they been growing it organically? Is the seller's name and face associated with everything? That would be, the bear case scenario. The bull case scenario is you look at the website and the email stuff and you can't tell who the seller is. Right? You have no clue who the seller is at all. I would really want to smoke that out as soon as I got the details. But assuming the seller is not associated with the organic growth or does not put his name and face with the business, this seems, like it is a pretty good business here. I'm still concerned though. I'm quite concerned about the seller potentially driving the growth because it seems like they're all concentrated in Vancouver, right? Doesn't say, it says almost all revenue thus far has come from the Vancouver email list. So potentially the seller himself is, and this would be a good big tell, the seller himself is in the Vancouver market and has the pool to generate the revenue there. Why are they not generating revenue in other markets? I would want to flush that out. But, there's a lot of room to grow this within Canada and a lot of room to expand this geographically. But that is highly contingent on proof of concept in the Vancouver market without relying on the seller. And on that note, why hasn't the seller generated more revenue in other markets if it is technically possible? That is really what I would want to flesh out here. Now, let's talk about the business's valuation at 32x based on the last 12 months. That leads to a $127,000 valuation. My take when I'm valuing the businesses is that I like to assign a valuation to the core business model and multiply that by the forecasted earnings and what you would expect to take home and put in your pocket in the next year after owning this business. Now, it is some type of a newsletter style business. It's profitable, but I see the concentration of revenue in that Vancouver market being very small, and being very narrow. And let's just assume that the seller is not, has not branded his own persona into this business. I think that it would be, or I would value it at a little less than a 3x multiple, maybe even on the lower side, closer to, oh gosh, I don't know, let's say 2.5 or so. Yeah, I think realistically even lower than that because it doesn't have significant market penetration. It's only proved concept in one market, Vancouver. Why, has the seller not grown it further? And I think it would be naive to say that the seller has not taken a crack at trying to grow it further into into another market. So I think that the core business model here, considering it really has not proven itself at scale, I think the core business here is really only worth a 2x valuation. I don't see it being worth much more than that. It just seems too narrow, right? And hasn't achieved some level of broad market penetration or proof of concept. I think it's really a 2x valuation business. Going into this, when I first opened this up, I have to say I was a little bit more optimistic about it, but the concentration of revenue coming from just one market certainly is not a bright star highlight on this business. So that said, what would it be forecasted to do in the next 12 months? So we can look at the trend line here. We see that it's trending down, profiting a little over 4,000, let's say 4,300 for November 2025 back to December, up around, say, 5,000. So it has lost about, 15% in profitability in the last couple months. So it is on a declining basis of profitability. Let's just say 4,000 times, and this is going to be forecasting what you would be profiting in the next 12 months going forward. Trailing 12 months, you're profiting 4,000 a month. Let's just say it continues this decline, 0.85. Okay, that's $3,400 a month. We would expect it, multiplying that by 12, to profit about $40,000. Multiply that, and that is the forecasted profitability over the next 12 months, considering the rate of decline in the profitability. Multiply that by the valuation multiple that I would assign to it, and I would say that 81,600 would be a much more realistic, fair valuation to acquire this business at, considering the business model, what they've got built so far, and the valuation, that we would arrive if we assigned the multiple based on the business model, in my opinion of the business model, and what I can tell from these details. to the next 12 months profitability at its current trend. Now, let's just say that we're a little bit more optimistic about this business and it's not a 2x valuation multiple. Well, if we assigned a 2.5 to it, right, then we're at $120 or $102,000. But even, if we just stuck with the 32x, which what is that? That's like a 1.75 value or 2.75 valuation multiple on it. And we assign that to the future 12 months, considering the revenue decline trend and profitability decline trend. We're at 112,000. I would say right now this business is valued on the lofty side. On that note, guys, what is your take? Let me know in the comments below. Is this business fairly valued here at the $127,000 asking price? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful or insightful, smash that like button to help me out in the YouTube algorithm. I am calling it a wrap and signing off on that note.